My name is Kristin Moore. Today I will be playing for you Suite in A minor by George Philippe Telemann, who lived between 1681 and 1767, so between the end of the Baroque period and the beginning of the Classical period, which can be heard within the piece style-wise. Telemann wrote several compositions for flute specifically. He wrote 11 concertos, 3 double concertos, 12 fantasias, multiple sonatas, and Suite in A minor for flute and strings, which is this piece. Often Suite in A minor is compared to Bach's Suite in B minor because it has a lot of similar aspects. Telemann acted as a major figure in making art music available to the public within his time period. Often concerts were only performed for aristocrats and royalty, and he formed concert halls where the public could come in and listen to music being performed. This piece is instrumental music, so flute and strings are what's playing. The flute is the main show or the soloist, and the strings accompany the flute. This piece that I performed in high school, which I'll be playing for you now, is transcribed for flute and piano by John Woomer. So instead of strings, it's often the piano that is the accompaniment. The full piece of Suite in A minor consists of 7 movements, each varying in style and mood, but you can even see within one movement contrasting styles and moods. Today I will be playing the lento portion of the first movement, number 1, the overture. At measure 22, the movement changes into con moto, which is a up-paced, more energetic theme within the movement, which I will not be playing. So that was the lento of the first movement of Suite in A minor. As you might have noticed, there were aspects of the piece that represented the Baroque and Classical period, musical elements, if you will. Suite in minor varies a lot within the moods throughout the whole piece. Theme 1 performed, so the lento, has a much more solemn aspect to it, and the con moto, which I mentioned earlier, picks up the pace and has more energy. Like the Baroque period, the themes often repeat themselves, so measures that are found with a certain melody will be found later within the piece, which is similar to the Baroque period. And so the lento that I just played is also found at the end of this first movement. The rhythm of the piece is much more syncopated. The notes are often played on the offbeat, so da 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 da. So on rather than on beats 1 and 3, it's on 1 and 3 and etc. This continues even throughout the con moto of the movement. The dynamics of the piece are both gradual and sudden. Towards the beginning of the lento, there was a measure where it went to piano and then back to forte, kind of just in between rests. But as seen at the end of the theme, there's a gradual crescendo that leads up to the big, powerful note towards the end, which eventually brings you into the faster, energetic con moto. And you know that the Gradual is more consistent with the classical period, and the sudden is more with the Baroque period. The key of the piece is A minor, suite in A minor, but the minor key allows for kind of more deep and thoughtful aspects of it compared to if it was in a major key, which tends to be more joyful and uplifting. The piece is mainly homophonic, but it does have aspects of polyphonic later in the piece, where often the strings might repeat what the flute just said as the melodic piece, which can be found very frequently within the con moto aspect. Hope you enjoyed.